They told him to stay home. They begged him not to come back. And when Seth Rollins kicked open that locker room door at Survivor Series, bleeding through his bandages with fire in his eyes, he didn't just return to WWE, he declared war on everyone who counted him out. What happened in those 48 hours after Survivor Series will make your blood boil, and if you think you know Seth Rollins, you're about to realize you don't know anything. Hit that like button right now because what I'm about to expose will change everything you thought you knew about loyalty in WWE. The Survivor Series smoke hadn't even cleared. CM Punk was celebrating with Drew McIntyre in one corner, Roman Reigns was being treated for his injuries in another, and backstage, the production crew was breaking down equipment like it was just another night. But it wasn't just another night. Because while everyone thought Seth Rollins was at home recovering from his devastating knee injury that had sidelined him for months, he was actually 3 floors above them in Triple H's private office, and what was being discussed behind that closed door would send shockwaves through the entire roster. Sources close to the situation, and I mean close, told me that Seth didn't just walk into that office. He limped in, knee wrapped so tight it looked like it might explode, and he slammed medical reports on Hunter's desk. Reports that doctors said meant he needed another 6 weeks minimum. But Seth? He looked his mentor dead in the eye and said 5 words that made the game's jaw drop: "I'm working tomorrow. Try stopping me." Now before you think this is just another comeback story, smash that subscribe button because what Seth did next wasn't about inspiration or heart or any of that corporate garbage WWE feeds us. This was about revenge, and the target list he brought with him had names that will blow your mind. Monday Night Raw. The very next show. Gorilla Position was packed with producers, agents, and wrestlers waiting for their cues. Everything seemed normal until someone noticed a travel bag sitting in Seth's old spot by the monitors. Then another bag. Then his ring gear. And that's when people started panicking because Seth Rollins wasn't cleared, wasn't scheduled, and according to official WWE statements, wasn't even in the building. But here's where it gets absolutely insane, and if you're not already furious about what happened next, you will be. Drop a comment right now telling me if you think WWE management has completely lost control, because what I'm about to tell you proves they have no idea what's happening in their own company. Seth didn't just show up. He commandeered a camera crew, marched straight into the production meeting that was happening during the live show, and started calling out specific wrestlers by name. And we're not talking about his obvious enemies. Bronson Reed, who put him out of action. Sure, that name came up. But then Seth started pointing fingers at people who were supposed to be his friends. Sami Zayn was first. Seth accused him of politicking for his spot while he was injured, of going to creative and pitching storylines that were originally meant for the architect. Sami tried to defend himself, tried to explain, but Seth wasn't hearing it. He told Sami that the moment he went down, Sami circled like a vulture, and now? Now Seth was back to take everything that was rightfully his. Are you kidding me right now? These two were brothers. They fought side by side. And if you're feeling that anger rising in your chest, if you're thinking about how friendship means nothing in this business, then like this video because it only gets more brutal. But Seth wasn't done. Not even close. He turned his attention to the women's division, specifically to Becky Lynch's booking. Now, everyone knows Seth and Becky's relationship is complicated since their separation, but what Seth revealed in that production meeting made everyone in the room uncomfortable. He claimed that while he was out injured, certain people in management were burying Becky out of spite toward him, using her career as collateral damage in some twisted backstage politics game. The room went silent. Producers didn't know where to look. Wrestlers pulled out their phones to text their friends who weren't there. Because Seth Rollins just accused WWE management of sabotaging his ex-wife's career, and he did it with receipts, with dates, with specific examples of opportunities Becky was pulled from at the last minute. Triple H finally arrived, and you'd think the cerebral assassin could calm this situation down, right? Wrong. Because Seth turned on Hunter too. He brought up every time Triple H told him to be patient, to heal properly, to think about his long-term health. And Seth threw it back in his face, asking if all that concern was real or if management just wanted him gone long enough to build up other talent and reduce his negotiating power when his contract comes up. Can you believe the audacity? If you're shocked, if you're shaking your head, if you think Seth just burned every bridge he ever built, then you need to subscribe to this channel because this story has layers you haven't even heard yet. The argument escalated so badly that security had to be called. But here's the thing that nobody's talking about, the security that showed up. They didn't remove Seth. They created a perimeter around him, like they were protecting him from everyone else. And that's when the rumors started flying that Seth had some kind of insurance policy, some information or leverage that made him untouchable. What could Seth Rollins possibly know that would make WWE scared to remove him from the building? What secrets did he gather while he was injured and watching from the outside? Comment your theories below because the wrestling world is desperate to figure this out. Now, the next part is where things shifted from chaotic to absolutely dangerous. Seth demanded a live microphone during Raw. Not a pre-taped segment. Not a backstage interview. A live, unfiltered microphone in the middle of the ring where nobody could cut him off or edit what he said. And against everyone's better judgment, against every corporate instinct WWE has, they gave it to him. The crowd erupted when his music hit. They had no idea he was even there. Social media exploded. But the pop from the audience turned into confused silence when Seth grabbed that microphone and the first words out of his mouth were, "I didn't come back for you people. I came back because I have names to name and scores to settle, and not one person in that locker room is safe." What? The man who built his legacy as a fighting champion, as the workhorse of WWE, just told the fans he doesn't care about them anymore. And if your jaw isn't on the floor right now, if you're not absolutely riveted to your screen, then I don't know what will hook you. Hit that like button and share this video because Seth Rollins just became the most dangerous man in professional wrestling. He started listing grievances. Every wrestler who he claimed politicking against him. Every agent who doubted his recovery. Every executive who he believed tried to minimize his return. And with each name, the backstage area became more tense because wrestlers started flooding out from the back, surrounding the ring, not knowing if they should attack Seth or hear him out. CM Punk was the first to walk down the ramp. The tension between these two could be cut with a knife. Punk got in Seth's face and asked him what he thought he was doing, if he'd lost his mind, if he understood that what he was saying could get him fired. And Seth? He laughed. He actually laughed in Punk's face and said, "Fire me. I dare you. Because the lawsuit that follows will expose everything this company has tried to hide." A lawsuit threat. On live television. Are you understanding the magnitude of what happened here? Subscribe right now if you want to follow this story because it's about to tear WWE apart from the inside. The show went to commercial immediately. Damage control mode activated. But during that commercial break, the chaos backstage reached nuclear levels. Wrestlers were choosing sides. Some backed Seth, saying he was speaking truth to power. Others called him a selfish cancer who was trying to derail everyone else's momentum. Physical altercations broke out. Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee had to be separated. Lyra Valkyria reportedly threw a chair after hearing her name mentioned in Seth's speech. This wasn't just backstage chaos anymore. This was a full-scale civil war brewing in WWE, and Seth Rollins lit the match. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This channel is your only source for the real story behind the curtain. When Raw came back from commercial, Triple H himself was in the ring with Seth. Hunter tried to restore order, tried to be the voice of reason, but Seth wasn't having it. He told Triple H that the legend he looked up to, the rebel who challenged authority, had become exactly what they used to fight against. A corporate suit more concerned with protecting the brand than protecting the people who build it. The personal nature of that attack cut deep. You could see it in Triple H's eyes. This wasn't just business anymore. This was family turning on family. Student betraying teacher. And the WWE Universe didn't know whether to cheer or cry because they were watching a relationship forged over decades implode in real time. Then Seth did something nobody expected. He challenged CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Bronson Reed, and Gunther, all of them, to a match at the next Premium Live event. Not one-on-one. Not in separate matches. He wanted all four of them at once in an elimination gauntlet where the only way to win was to destroy everyone in your path. The arrogance. The audacity. This man who just came back from injury, who isn't even medically cleared, just challenged four of the most dangerous wrestlers in the company simultaneously. And if you think that's where the story ends, you haven't been paying attention. Like this video and comment whether you think Seth has a death wish or a master plan. Because here's what happened over the next 72 hours that the mainstream wrestling media isn't telling you. Seth started recruiting. Behind the scenes, away from cameras, he approached wrestlers who felt overlooked, underutilized, or disrespected by WWE's current direction. And his pitch was simple: join him in burning down the old system to build something new, or get out of his way and watch it happen anyway. Some wrestlers immediately said no. They had too much to lose. But others started listening. And the names Seth allegedly recruited will shock you. Mid-card talents tired of being jobbers. Tag teams broken up without explanation. Even some main event stars who privately agreed with Seth's assessment of how WWE operates. This isn't just about one man's return anymore. This is about a revolution brewing inside the biggest wrestling company on the planet, and Seth Rollins appointed himself as the general leading the charge. Are you starting to understand why this matters? Are you seeing how this could change everything? Then you better be subscribed because this story is developing by the hour. WWE management went into crisis mode. Emergency meetings with every department. Legal team on standby. HR conducting investigations into Seth's claims. Because if even half of what he alleged is true, WWE has major problems that can't be ignored or swept under the rug anymore. And that's where we are right now. Seth Rollins has returned, triggered absolute chaos backstage, divided the entire roster, challenged WWE's top stars to career-threatening matches, and potentially started a movement that could reshape the company forever. Whether you love him or hate him, whether you think he's a hero speaking truth or a villain destroying what others built, you cannot look away from what happens next. So here's what I need from you. Smash that like button, subscribe to WWE Reporter for daily updates on this developing situation, and comment below telling me whose side you're on. Are you Team Seth or Team WWE? Because this war is just beginning, and when the dust settles, professional wrestling will never be the same again.